Hey YouTube, welcome back. So after probably the best Animal Crossing Direct in a long time, maybe even ever, we have a pretty good idea of what we can expect from the upcoming update in November. Not only did the Direct reveal new encounters with the likes of Brewster and the Roost, but a whole bunch of exciting features, both old and new, were revealed. Second to features like cooking, I would say one of the most notable features announced was Island Ordinances, and if not the most notable, definitely the most underrated. Now, Ordinances are essentially an aspect of the economy, I guess, that you can change to better suit your personal style of gameplay. This mechanic isn't new to Animal Crossing though, and was actually first introduced in New Leaf, so we have a very good idea of what to expect and how they will affect our islands. Now, thanks to the Direct, we know in total there are 4 Island Ordinances to choose from, including the Beautiful Island Ordinance, the Early Bird Ordinance, Night Owl Ordinance, and finally the Bell Boom Ordinance, which I think will appeal to a lot of players. Now, we'll go over each in more detail in a second, but in short, the Beautiful Ordinance affects the environment around the island, the Early Bird Ordinance makes shops open and villagers wake up earlier, the Night Owl Ordinance makes shops close and villagers go to sleep later, and the Bell Boom Ordinance affects the economy, increasing the buy and sell prices of items. Now, before we look at how they can be activated, it's important to understand the benefits of each to know which best suits your island. Typically, the Beautiful Ordinance focuses on eliminating cockroaches, which will be great news for time travelers, but also stops trash from spawning such as tires or boots, as well as reducing the number of weeds that grow. Also, in New Leaf, flowers don't wilt under the Beautiful Ordinance, but that's not really a thing in New Horizons unless of course they change that going forward. Typically, the Early Bird Ordinance sees the likes of Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters open anywhere between 1 and 3 hours earlier than usual, and sees each villager personality wake up to 2 hours earlier than they normally do, essentially seeing island life much more active around 5 to 6 am rather than the usual 8 to 9 am. Again, in New Leaf, this has also controlled the opening times of around 14 shops, whereas New Horizons only really has 2, so it's likely this will affect what time the new shops are open on Harvey's Island, as well as travelling characters. Anyway, similar to Early Bird, the Night Owl Ordinance sees the likes of Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters close up to 3 hours later, sometimes seeing them open well after midnight, which is pretty cool. This ordinance also sees various villagers go to sleep later, some of which staying up till 5:30 am. And finally, the Bell Boom Ordinance typically sees the cost of items at stores increase by 20%, but more importantly, the selling prices of things is also increased by 20%, making it easier to earn bells and making your items much more valuable. In New Leaf, the amount of daily premium items available was also increased, so we'll likely see more expensive items in Nook's Cranny too if using the Bell Boom Ordinance. Anyway, these Island Ordinances can also be enabled by talking with Isabelle at Resident Services, but does cost a fee. We don't know how much until the update drops, but the footage from the Direct suggests it's probably less than 50,000 bells. Naturally, the ordinance can be changed or cancelled at any time by speaking with Isabelle. Of course, in order to even have access to Island Ordinances, players will likely have to first upgrade the Resident Services from a tent to a building so they can speak with Isabelle, but details like this will be confirmed once the update releases in November. Now, having access to these ordinances will benefit different players in different ways, but for example, if you work early in the morning, the Night Owl Ordinance will suit you perfectly, as the island will still be very active when you play in the evening. Anyway, I imagine we'll see even more adjustments made to these ordinances to better suit island life once the update is here. But what do you think about ordinances, and which one will you likely choose for your island? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, thank you so much to all the Patreon and channel members for supporting this content. Sorry once again about my voice, it is still not come back fully, and until next time, have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.